Hello, everybody. It is November 1st. Saturday, November 1st. Should have won the World Series yesterday, but we didn't. Hopefully we'll win it tonight. That's one of the things on my list I wanted to talk to you guys about today was the disappointing game last night. I don't know, there was a couple times that you're just like, oh, come on. It was just like so close. It could have gone either way. And just little things that happened throughout the game kind of dictated where the game was going and how it was going to end. And again, as we got closer to, the 7th inning, 8th inning, you're like, oh, this isn't going to go well. And then you're just hoping for that miracle home run and when bases are loaded and you're just looking for that amazing grand slam and Joe Carter type hit, but it didn't happen. Hopefully it will happen tonight. If we had won last night, it would have been very uneventful. Like there was nothing like super special about that game. So I'm hoping something super special happens tonight. Hopefully for the Jays, of course. But so I wrote down a few things here that I wanted to talk about and just keep me kind of on track. So last night was Halloween and also the Jays were playing. So as parents are dropping by with their kids, I'd tell them, X amount of minutes until the game starts. And some people were like, oh yeah, we're in the playoffs. And you're like, I guess you don't really watch the Jays, I guess. And, but we basically had about 12 visitors last night. The first visitors we had, there were like 3 sisters, probably like the ages of like 6, 8, and 10. And so again, we just had that one big box of chocolates we put into a bowl. Carol held back about 6 chocolate bars of her and my favorites. But I was really, if we had lots of kids yesterday, I would have just dipped into those and used those up. But she's like, well, let's just keep 6 for us. But we ended up with probably half the box of chocolates. The first 3 girls that came to the house, I said, take 3 of your favorites each, and I let them pick. And the oldest girl, she's like, just puts her hand in and grabs like a lot. And I'm like, just 3. And she looks at me like, puts back a bunch. She's like trying to drop only like 1. And I'm like, come on, just 3. I got a lot. You don't know how many people are going to be coming to the door, and we want other people to have them. And so she took 3, and then the little girl looked like she only took 2, and then the middle girl took her 3. She was the most responsible out of the 3. The little girl didn't really know. Well, she knew what she was doing, but she, I guess, didn't understand what I said. Take 3, and I think she just took her favorite 1 or 2. But the middle girl, the older girl wanted all of them. The middle girl, very responsible and followed the rules, and she took her 3. And then the little girl didn't take. It didn't look like she took 3. So I said, well, you can have another one. And of course, the tall girl, the oldest, turned around and she's like, and I'm like, okay, you can have another one. And she tried to take 2 more. I'm like, come on. So she took 1 more, and then the little girl took 1. The middle girl took 1. And then, shut the door and went back. And I was on the wrong channel. I was watching something to do with Jays and everything. And they were doing this whole piece on Maddock. And he's one of the most famous pitchers. And I think it was Maddock. I'm saying it wrong. I always say it wrong. Anyway, so I was watching that, and all of a sudden it was like 10 after 8. I'm like, well, the game's supposed to start at 8. I was just thinking that this was like just a video clip to get us all going for the game, right? But I'm like, it's 10 after 8. It should be on. And then I realized maybe I should go and check another channel. And then I found that it was on. Luckily, it was like still the top of the first or middle of the first, end of the first. But no score, nothing major happened. So I'm glad I didn't miss anything special like the game before when we got a home run off the very first batter, off the very first pitch. That was amazing. Anyway, So, and then we had like a group of maybe 6 to 7 teenagers come, and that's when I kind of like, okay, 2 of your favorites each, and because I'm like, oh, if we're gonna start getting more kids, I won't be able to do like 3 or 4 per person, so I said 2, and then I think we had maybe 2 more small groups of people. Had like a single kid with her mom and her dad, and then maybe a couple more. I think we counted 12 approximately. So we had a pretty good Halloween. Now we have lots of chocolates left over, like I said yesterday. So it would be always nice to find out which kid is going to be the last kid. If we had kids as neighbors, if we had neighbors that had kids, I would just make a couple little bags of chocolate bars and let's give it to them and say, Happy Halloween, you can have the rest of our chocolate, because we shouldn't eat them. We had a neighbor 2 doors down. He passed away, I don't know, 15 plus years ago. And he was just the nicest man you ever want to meet. Nicest neighbor. I wish I was right beside him. He would, if he saw me gardening in the back, he'd mosey on over and see how I was doing, and then he would offer suggestions without telling me what to do. So, I was trying to create a garden, and I was using a shovel, and he was like, if you use a garden fork, it would be easier to, get into the ground and flip the dirt over. And he was right. It was way easier. So, I always respect my elders, and I listen to them, whether I take their advice or not. I always take their advice into consideration, and he always had good advice. And if it snowed really heavily, I go with my snowblower and do his driveway for him. But he would already be out there, and half the driveway would be done. I can't see his driveway right from our house. So, I'm up doing my driveway, and then I see he's shoveling his driveway with a shovel, and he was in his mid to late 80s. And I'm like, okay, let's get over there and use our thing. And then he would offer money for gas. I'm like, don't worry about it. But I would say every Easter and every Halloween, I can't remember if he did anything at Christmas. He probably did, but I for some reason, I just remember Halloween and Easter, he'd make up 2 bags for both of our kids. And he'd write their name on it and decorate the bag, and they'd put a bunch of stuff in it, candies, chocolates, whatever. And then he would come over and deliver it to us, and just the nicest guy ever. So like I said, if there were kids that were really close to us, I would just give the rest of our candies to them, just kind of pay it forward, take what I learned from Jerry and pay it forward to people that live around me, but there's no kids that live right near close to us. So the other thing too was the missing file yesterday. So I was editing in my office. I had hard drives plugged in, and I'm editing. And when I started describing the Smarties, I'm like, you know what? I know I've talked about Smarties before. I think when I did a McFlurry thing, I talked about putting Smarties in my McFlurry, because McDonald's in Canada does the Canadian Smarties, or the Nestle Smarties. I used to think it was Roundtree. It's possible it was Roundtree at one time, but Nestle, I think, owns them, and they are British. They're a British candy, I believe. It started there, came over to Canada, never made it to the States. They had their M&Ms and stuff. But anyway, so I typed in the computer Smarties or Rockets. So in Canada, your Smarties are our Rockets. So there's actually a company in Newmarket that makes the Rockets, which are your Smarties. And so I typed it in, came up with the image, saw the image, didn't see where it was located, dragged it into my timeline. Everything was great. And then when I can't remember when maybe as I was exporting it, I'm like, I don't need it to be plugged into anything, and I need to go into the living room to upload it faster. I'm guessing that's what happened, because as soon as I disconnected the hard drives, that file was on one of those hard drives. Again, usually when I create a project, I make sure all the art, especially if it's vlogs, they are sure important, but I usually edit them and everything done before I disconnect my computer. But in this case, I was like scrambling to get stuff done yesterday. So when I unplugged the hard drives, the file disconnected from the project, and unfortunately, so it was just a picture Right there. That's the picture. That's the missing file right there. The missing files of KBD Productions TV and the vlog channel. So that's what happened to that missing file, and that's how it happened. But like I said, if it's an important project, I have a file and I make sure all the art and everything that's in that project, even though it's going to be a duplicate from another part of my computer or another deep hard drive location, I just duplicate it and make sure that that file has all the art that's available to it, because that's happened many, many times where, 4 or 5 years from now, those hard drives might be in a drawer somewhere, and I go to open up an old project and it's like all these files are missing and you can't rebuild it without those files. Now you're like scrambling to see where those hard drives are. Anyway, so yeah, we covered the Jays, Halloween, the missing image, and now we are 62 days sober. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Paul said, you're not doing another month of that sober thing, are you? I go, yeah, I'm going to do no booze November. We're calling it. I'm not sure if anybody else has called it that, but we did sober September, sober October, no booze November, and drinking December is what's going to happen. So yeah, we're going on that cruise again. That the cruise that we're doing is is east of all the stuff that's happened with that hurricane going through Jamaica and Cuba and the Bahamas. Our cruise is southeast of there and a bunch of different islands down there. So I don't believe any damages were done in that area. And we haven't heard anything anyway from the cruise. So, and I definitely would like to have a couple rum and cokes and some island drinks when we're on our cruise. So December will be the first time that I have booze in over 3 months. So 2 months down, 1 to go. Again, anybody who's been following me on this journey and you've been either sober or you stopped drinking pop or stopped eating sugar or whatever it was that you decided to jump on board with us, I'm wishing you all the best. I'm hoping you're doing well with it. Every once in a while, I go through a little, like I'm missing something, like, because it was such a habit for such a long time. Again, I don't think I ever, during my live shows, I overdid it a few times, unfortunately, but I got kind of carried away with, the donations and people were over generous and people seemed to want to see me drunk. And I didn't like that. And a lot of people who watch my show didn't like that. But, we did it a bunch of times. I think we went through was it 5 bottles of tequila? And, all those live streams made a lot of money. I don't think it helped the channel at all. It didn't help my health at all. So again, I'll never probably drink like that again on a live show. I might have a couple beers and enjoy some music with you guys in a live show in the future. I've been discussing live shows with my channel manager and they seem to think that it would be a great idea to start doing live shows again. Lots of people, as soon as you go into your YouTube, anything live, especially if it's somebody that you are subscribed to, it goes right to the top. It bumps everybody else's videos off that feed and wants you to watch the live shows, and YouTube saying more and more people are watching live shows. So we have to figure out what to do. If you want to leave suggestions on what to do. The prize wheel was fun. My prize wheel is broken. It doesn't work anymore. It was lopsided. I think the last time we used it, we kept spinning. It kept landing on pickles. And I'm like, something's wrong. I can't keep landing on it. And then we did a couple test spins. Yep, every time. It was off balance and I don't know how to fix it. And I think it's fallen over a couple times. So I think it's damaged beyond all repair. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to jump on here and wish you guys all the best and welcome you to a brand new month. The month of November. No booze in November. Oh yeah, that's right. Paul was saying, oh, if we go on another hiking trip, you're not going to party. I'm like, when was the last time we partied after a climb? We've never partied after a climb. And and he's like, yeah, you're kind of right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm right. So I don't need to drink on our thing. So stop mentioning it. All right. Again, wish you guys all the best, and thanks for watching my vlog channel, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.